My parents have no idea what I do.
It's really hard to explain it to the outside world.
Learning that language, it's going to take time.
Google and ChatGPT almost always get it wrong.
I thought it was a mythical creature.
Thank you for scaring the crap out of me.
And I feel such like a stereotype.
We don't know where to start.
I can no longer think.
Hi, and welcome to the How I Became a Perfumer podcast. I'm Tanya Mironova, a career coach, storyteller, and your host. In each episode of this podcast, we explore the different roles in the flavor and fragrance industry, as well as talk to founders of independent projects. Today, we are joined by the two very inspiring women in the flavor and fragrance world, Paige Crist and Jenna Troyli, co-founders of Noted Communications, LLC. With over 25 years of combined experience, they've transitioned from Perfume and Flavors Plus to launching a boutique agency that crafts stories for brands in the flavor and fragrance sector. Jenna and Paige, welcome to the show.
We're so happy to be here.
Yeah.
It might be the trickiest question you've heard recently, but how do you think why nobody started the communications agency in the flavor and fragrance world before you?
That is a really good question. And I'm sure some exist, right? There must be some out there. I know there are certainly some marketing firms that sort of specialize in F&F. Yeah, I have no idea. Maybe because the industry's so niche, maybe people think there's not enough business to like maybe pigeonhole yourself. I don't know. But as you know, as we know, the world of flavor and fragrance is so vast and so global, and there's so many different types of companies you can work with, work for, etc. So we're really enjoying it. We're finding plenty to do.
Absolutely. I think also it's funny because, Paige has been in this industry for 20 years before with Perfumer and Flavors Plus magazine. And, I think some people come into it, or maybe most people come in as the creators, and then they bring in their children as the creators, and it's very generational, and that's how it happens. And well, my dad was a perfumer, so I'm a perfumer, the same with flavorists. And we got to come in through the magazine and see a completely different route and then meet all these incredible people. And Paige has made friends, has been in weddings. Like, these connections are just so vast and incredible. So maybe there just hasn't been someone yet who can say, oh, how can I fit in all these little gaps of where they are too busy to come in? And so Paige and I continuously are kind of changing our roles with every new client, which is very fun and exciting.
Yeah, that's true. They all have different needs. And I think also because the industry kind of knew itself forever, they for a long time didn't have the need, right? They're like, oh, my dad's worked with so-and-so forever, or my mom's worked with so-and-so forever. And they didn't quite see this need to communicate. But now there's more players, some got gobbled up, like thing changes on the daily. So if you're not communicating, you're going to get left behind. And I think people are finally realizing that as well. So it's just a right timing.
Do you feel like to some extent you need to show the light? I mean, like you need to show like, guys, you could do better if you communicate this way?
Yes, I think in the nicest of ways, obviously. But I think usually once they see other companies doing some things, then they go, wait a second, like we have, the same talent or this or these kinds of ideas. How can we get those out there? And they just don't have that resource yet, or they don't have the person to say, this is how we can do it. Or maybe they don't have the bandwidth to do it. So really, since many of these people are our friends as well, it's like, oh, have you thought about this? And then that's how the conversation kind of snowballs into maybe how we can help or what a next step would be.
Yeah, that's a good point. People come to us and literally have no idea usually.
Right.
They're like, I know I need to be doing something, or they're like, we need to tell this thing to people that happens or that's going to happen. Usually it's going to happen. And we don't know where to start. Like, how do we do that? So we're just like, we got you, no problem. Tell us what's happening and we'll take it from there.
Jenna at one of our recordings previously even said about that World Perfumery Congress that it's like a wedding. And now Paige actually attends weddings. Do you have a feeling maybe that we are, because I also count myself as sort of into the industry, that we are sometimes communicate for each other, but third parties have no idea about our existence.
Yes.
Yes, yeah, very much so. They do a little bit, but only it's very confusing, I think, from a consumer or just a layperson perspective. I've been even trying to explain to my 6-year-old son what mommy does and what the industry does as he meets, friends in the industry and things like that. It's really hard to explain it to the outside world. And even though I think the industry as a whole is trying, still there's a lot of work to be done.
There is no need, for the car industry to explain what they do. Like you could just go and see. And for the fragrance and flavor industry, also you could go to a shop and actually see. But why nobody really connects the product to the industry?
Right. And it is funny too, because I just went to Givaudan had a pop-up in New York, and they had Rodriguez Flores Rue's creative portfolio of these ingredients that usually typically would have been thought of that your grandparents would wear, but he's reinventing them for the younger generation. So very cool. Got to try it. I got to try very many scents and kind of sniff around, and which was amazing. But then, they were explaining to each of the people visiting, well, this is a type of ingredient, this is a type of technology, and it takes your brain somewhere. So if you're not used to that and you're not thinking about that ingredient technology in my perfume, and then that can be confusing. So it's learning that language. It's going to take time, and letting that become a norm. That's, I think, the most difficult part. We also are in an industry that has so many acronyms. So that can also be a lot. I know that even Paige was saying it's hard to describe to her son, or he's trying to learn. My parents have no idea what I do. And it's kind of just like, I appreciate the support. Don't worry about it. I'm going to Paris for Simpar. And they go, and that is what? It's fine. But as long as you're excited about it, that's what's important. But for those people who are interested, like, where does this ylang ylang come from in my fragrance? That can be found. You just kind of gotta know where to look. And I think sometimes that can be overwhelming or maybe a little bit confusing, because things aren't, mysterious, because you have to keep an ingredient to yourself or a recipe to yourself anymore like they used to. Obviously, there are some IPs and trade secrets that you can't share, but for the most part, you know what's going into your fragrance and it's been tested. So yeah, that's kind of, I think, the tricky part in learning that and communicating that with the consumer now.
The car analogy is still in my head. Like, we don't explain that much. Like, these are the parts from that. These are the parts. Like, nobody cares.
Right.
If it runs fast, it's good.
Well, that's true. But when you go
Or
to the
safe.
mechanic and they tell you what you need, I have no idea. And I feel such like a stereotype, because I'm just like, okay, I guess change it out, switch it.
But there's a bit of a difference, though, I will say, because at least with your car, you can Google things now, and you could ask ChatGPT, like, hey, how many thousand miles or kilometers, before I should get my XYZ changed, right? Like you can Google that. And what I find so interesting in the flavor and fragrance industry is that Google and ChatGPT almost always get it wrong. They might get a couple things right, but when it comes to an industry perspective, from a consumer standpoint, okay, but like when it comes to an industry, you can't just be like, hey, what fragrance houses are in this area? Because it won't even know what you're talking about. Like it's a different language, so
No.
it doesn't work the same.
So interesting. You've mentioned ChatGPT before me, since I was really wondering, like, in the world where ChatGPT writes kind of good messages, what could a communication agency do better?
I think
Gosh, I
that's
have a bit of a
yes,
love-hate with ChatGPT, but go ahead and tackle it,
I see
Jenna.
the reaction is really here.
No, I wanted to kind of kick it to Paige and on our tagline for noted, because I think that kind of encapsulates our communication versus outsourcing to, someone who doesn't know the industry or ChatGPT. So Paige, please.
Yeah, I mean, I challenge anyone to try putting something in chat for the industry and see what it comes back with. It's not going to be what you want. But yeah, we came up with our tagline, Fluent in Flavor and Fragrance, because it's a language all into itself. And it's a global language, and everything from descriptors to knowing what companies and players are doing what, it can be confusing to an outsider, and ChatGPT is an outsider. So while it's amazing at some things, I mean, I've tried to turn it off on a lot of, not ChatGPT, but like the AI function on a lot of like my devices and things, because it'll think it's summarizing an email for me and it brings it up. And I'm like, that is not at all the gist of this email. Thank you for scaring the crap out of me because I thought this email was about that. And then I read it and it's not about that at all. So the fact of the matter is it's an amazing tool. It can help you do things. Like I had something that was like in a mess of notes and I'm like, can you clean this up and put it in a bullet pointed list and get rid of all of the duplicates that I have in here? And ChatGPT very nicely did that for me. Thank you. But to do things from scratch for you and get it right is just not going to happen. It's like good at polishing things or giving you a suggested word or things like that, but it can't do the work. It can't do the heavy lifting.
So now we know what is good about ChatGPT and also what is bad. So about your partnership, what is good about working with Paige?
We just kind of hit it off so early on, and we just know how to talk to each other. We know how to kind of like motivate and get to it. It's such a pace that I'm like thrilled to be at with Paige because she's like, okay, we're going. Like either you're coming with me or you're left behind. And I love that about her. And, you know, if it weren't for Paige, I wouldn't have been accepted into the industry as I have been because, again, this is such, you know, a tight knit community. And if you don't have someone vouching for you, it can be really hard to kind of gain the trust and gain loyalty with these really incredible associations that also, you know, have worked very hard, have been in there for decades, have done their research, their studies. And then I'm just coming in as an editor who was formerly the food and drink editor of a newspaper in Florida in the United States. Like that's hilarious to come in and have not a clue. So, you know, I'm so thankful for that. And then carrying into Noted, it's just like, you know, we problem solve together. And it feels like we've just kind of become like sisters in a way where it's like, okay, great. Now you work on this, like sisters that don't bicker, which I don't think exists. But so that's been really, really special to kind of figure out together. And it's just like, let's just leave this 9 to 5 and we'll figure it out. So having someone have that trust in me to take that on this journey together and you know, like she has all these connections. It's been 20 years. So to choose me as like her counterpart is very special for me. So it's been a really exciting time. It's been 6-7 months now. And now we're on your podcast together as a duo. That's a big deal. We're so thankful. Thank you for having us.
Well, thank you. And Paige, why did you choose Jenna?
Oh man, like Jenna said, it was just smooth sailing from day one. Like just our communication style, I think, is very similar. So we move at the speed of lightning, and Jenna even faster than I. By the time I have an idea, Jenna's already figuring out like how to make it happen on our website or for a client or something. So she's so super speedy, and I couldn't imagine doing it with anybody else because it's fun. Which is so important for what we do. Like, and that's the other thing is I just think the lack of ego. So even though Jenna's younger, she's older in her soul because she has like really you have an old soul because you have like such a lack of ego wherein like one of us will send the other one a design or something we wrote. Both of us are like, do whatever you want to it to make it better. And always the other person comes with like one little tiny tweak or idea that makes it like, oh, now it's perfect. Like I just didn't know that was the thing. And both of us do that to each other with like, I don't know, a lack of, again, ego, like, hey, I made this, but maybe it's terrible. I don't know. You tell me what it needs. And then the other person's like, I got it from here. Let's go. So it's just been a really smooth, easy partnership and fun. And also she keeps me a little younger and hipper, which is cool. Like
Wonderful.
I have no idea otherwise. So I need someone to keep me young and cool.
Well, a wonderful synergy. Well, speaking about partnerships, now it's going to be a tricky one.
Oh.
Is there any company you're dreaming of working with?
That's a good question.
Oh man, is sky the limit? I guess.
Okay, Jesus is probably also
Oh yeah.
an option.
Don't need any help with marketing
You know what?
there.
My dream. So there's a lot of like companies out there I would love to work with. However, I think for both of us, our dream client is someone that aligns with our energy and vision. So somebody it's just like fun and easy to work with them and everything is flowing awesomely and not like, so for me, the dream company to work with is just people that I enjoy being around and their energy is on. That's the dream.
Whoever has an open mind, I think, too, and is willing to kind of push outside of, norms within the industry. Like Paige was saying, pre-COVID, everything was so in person, which is amazing. And everybody obviously has the best time and there's the best networking that's done in person. But then COVID happened and everybody had to be on LinkedIn and everybody had to be online and they had to update. So that kind of took a while for some people to get around to because they also didn't have the bandwidth because now you're struggling with supply chain and all these things. So now that we're moving beyond that, but they're still realizing that LinkedIn is still very important. So these are just kind of some things. It's like, all right, I haven't done this in the past, but I'm excited to learn what we can do together. That would be the ideal client, someone who's just, excited for change, but also still wanting to be, committed to their legacy is obviously very important. And that's something that we really do hold into account when moving, companies into like a new era or a new chapter for them.
What happens if you're approached by someone who are, I don't know, in a sort of a scandal? Like, there has recently been a Jasmine Pickers scandal, which was shown on BBC, and they need to cover it up. How would you address it? Because we all have flaws. It happens.
That's tough.
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it would have to depend upon, again, the company, the person themselves, and getting to know them and like what the truth was behind the story. Because I don't take all of those stories at face value. So yeah, I think we would have to like dig a little deeper and make sure that we know actually what's going on in that case, because it's hard to like help communicate something if you don't know the full story. And I think all too often, unfortunately, news sources get it wrong, especially when it comes to our industry, as you know. So yeah, I think digging a little deeper, getting some more information, certainly not opposed to like helping people out of a jam or like helping them communicate in a better way so that the truth is heard. And yeah.
More so, yeah, sharing what the truth of the matter is and then maybe trying to kind of get that out rather than cover up. We're not in the business of scandals here. I honestly don't even have that one in, I think, my heart to be able to do, but also that takes so much time and energy, and also it'll end up getting out years from now if it gets covered up, and that's such a web of lies to get in the mix of. So it's either get to the bottom of the truth and just help share that and re-communicate something rather than it be a blanket that will end up being revealed years from now, months from now, weeks from now anyway.
Yeah.
So interesting that unless it's something bad, nobody knows about the industry. When it's Jasmine Pickers, child labor, everyone is here. Everyone is speaking about it. It's also something about the nature of the news.
Yeah. I mean, it's part of the reason why I do not watch the news anymore. So I find out about things. Obviously, I don't live under a rock, but yeah, I choose to live my life without the news filtering all the bad stuff to me. I'd rather get the good stuff from people directly.
Certainly. And what are probably your heroes in the communications world? Somebody you follow and they are like so good, we want to be like them.
Other than Jenna Troyli.
Oh,
the best answer possible.
So sweet. Yeah, that's difficult. I mean, one, at least, is not so much communications agency, but, I admire like the Fat Mascara podcast. I think that they're so much fun and they get on really exciting and interesting guests to kind of talk about trends that are happening in beauty and also in fragrance. And I think they do it in a very cool way. And it's not like this massive production all the time. Sometimes it just feels like they're in their bedroom, just kind of talking this closely to the mic. And, it's very friendly. It's very intimate, which I love. And it feels real. And that's what I like about them a lot. They did a pop-up event with Givaudan and they talked to like a Gen Z perfumer. And I think maybe Rodrigo was there too, because Rodrigo is just such a superstar. And they were talking about how to create fragrances for Gen Z, which
his leather jackets are fantastic.
They did a
And pants.
projection of him. So you could click a QR at this pop-up yesterday, and they projected Rodrigo in his leather outfit discussing how he
Amazing.
created the fragrance. That's incredible.
I was wondering what that was in your photo. So that was like a 3D,
Through my
like a
phone. I
hologram of
could
him?
watch him through my phone next to and I could move him around the store if I wanted to. And it would be him standing and talking to
Amazing.
me.
The perfumer comes to your phone.
Yes.
This is a very
So
A
cool.
interesting
one-on-one with
idea.
the perfumer? Come on.
My son Bear makes me do that with a dinosaur on Google. Have you ever done that? You can put like a full-size dinosaur in your room with you and it'll like walk around and roar, roar. So it's probably the same technology, but that's fascinating. I love that so much. I was wondering what that little mini Rodrigo was. That's cool.
Yes, and he's just like so small, this big, talking. But yeah, Fat Mascara, I really enjoy their podcast. I admire them as hosts and also just, sharing their lives also through their social media in a very just like raw, real way, but staying very true to who they are and what they represent. So I think that they're probably top of my list of people who I'm like, well, maybe I could share a little bit more personally on my Instagram because it's all fun.
You know what? It's not a communications person so much, but someone in the media and out there in the world that I've always enjoyed watching, listening to her podcast, etc. is don't laugh at me, but Oprah Winfrey. I'm from Chicago, and Harpo Studios was always in Chicagoland or in Chicago proper. And I just think again, she's an authentic human. Like authenticity definitely resonates with me. I love that she's always tackling hard topics, spiritual topics. I love who she is from a spiritual perspective. She's super open-minded, and I like the way she communicates.
The queen of talk shows, Oprah Winfrey, the very beginning,
I,
it's like you cheated.
yeah.
That's a hell of an answer.
Do you listen to her podcast though? It's so good.
I
It's
always
so
look at
good.
her like what to get for Christmas. She's like does those lists,
Oh yeah, she has, yes, absolutely, her gift
gift
pitch.
guides. Yes.
And now I'm thinking of other people when you've said that. But anyway,
What perfume could you help her put into her wonderful books?
Mm,
yes.
that's a good question. I mean, it's funny.
Yeah, I have to give it a think.
Yeah. Paige recently on our podcast just got something or shared that she got one of those like free gifts from Sephora, fine fragrance that she really
Yes.
liked. I don't know if it makes it to the gift
Yes.
guide for you yet, Paige.
No, I don't think it works that well on me personally. Fragrance is so personal. A friend texted me once. They're like, "Hey, this is like last week. Is XYZ fragrance worth the hype?" And I said, "Well, it depends on what it smells like on your skin, man. Like, it's worth it if you love it. If you don't, it's not." So, I've worn fragrances from Bath and Body Works, from Victoria's Secret, from, Tom Ford, from Chanel. Like, they're all different on me, and some work, some don't. Like, to me, it's very much less about the brand, and it's like, does this fragrance work well on me? Do I like smelling like this? Do I like other people to smell me like this? Do I like the way it smells when it dries down? All of those things I think are so important. So I don't think people should recommend it's so weird to recommend a fragrance for someone. Like you have to wear it on your skin and like see what the chemistry does to me personally.
And Jenna mentioned free stuff from Sephora. And I know that now you have a free job board.
Yes, we do.
What is that about and why?
Yeah. It's really cool because, since we started Noted, we've also, and even before that, even if you start at one flavor or fragrance house, sometimes you bounce around. And that's just kind of the nature of the beast. Like you may have met somebody a couple years ago over here and now they're over here. And so you got to keep all your connections tight at all times and make sure not to burn bridges, blah, blah, blah. It's hard to know what's open and where. So just really wanting to continue to be a resource for the industry, we wanted to make sure that like everyone has access to these. You obviously can do your own digging, but we can do that for you. So what we do each week is scour LinkedIn, Indeed, and those kind of outlets. And then we boil it down to what is in our industry specifically, because that's also super frustrating, is to type in perfumer and it's like working at the sales counter at Sephora or at Macy's. And that's not my job. I didn't go to school for that. I didn't get trained for that. So what we do each week is we create a full board. We pull from last week's board, make sure that everything is up to date, and then we add fresh postings. So, just really just trying to make it easy for everyone. But while it is free, you just join our club, which is Club Noted. And it's a free membership. You have access to the job board, and then you also have access to our industry events calendar, which is another thing. What's going on in the industry? It's so global. How will I know when the next meeting is for the Society of Flavor Chemists, or when the next Simpar is happening that's in Paris, or the Barcelona Perfumery Congress, for instance? And so we've charted all of those. If there's anything that we've missed, please let us know. But, we want to make sure that everyone knows what's going on in the industry. And if they really are looking for a new opportunity, that they can find that and we can be in some way helpful.
And people have started sending us jobs,
Yeah,
which is
true.
great. So companies have noticed and they're like, hey, how do I get on your job board? I'm like, just send us a link to wherever the job lives, man. We'll post it. So yeah, if you have an event coming up, if you have a job, you can just message us at hi@noted.llc, and we'll be happy to, or find us on LinkedIn, wherever, and we'll be happy to add those for you. Yeah, because it's just a free resource to the industry. We want to be a resource to everybody, whatever that looks like for them.
It feels like at some point you might have also a recruiting agency, or no, that will become communications and recruitment agency.
It's
I
funny.
think we do some of it on accident.
Yeah.
Certainly, we're part of what we originally imagined us being is connectors of people, like because we know everybody all over the world. Sometimes there's someone over here doing something cool that someone over here would benefit from, and we just love to connect people. So it's yeah, we're happy to connect the right people and make sure everybody's living their best life in F&F.
You're saints. I'm like listening to that. We love good energy. We connect people. And I also know that you're doing events.
Yes,
We
that's true.
are, yes.
Add it into the bag. It's true. Yeah.
Yeah, and
So,
that also was not when we launched Noted, that was not at all what we thought we were going to be doing. We thought, if people need help, like finding good speakers, like for sure we can connect them, or we could moderate panels. Like we're amazing at that because we know the right questions to ask. And that's kind of where we saw our event strategy for Noted. But the American Society of Perfumers recently reached out to us, and they asked us to partner with them for the upcoming World Perfumery Congress. It's not really upcoming. It'll be next year, June 23rd through 25th of 2026. And we said yes. So Jenna and I will be helping them with all of the marketing and communications, of course, for that event, but also the exhibit and sponsorship, sales, and the conference organization. And then we have another company we're partnering, or I should say the ASP is partnering with, to do all of the logistics and the event organization, planning of opening cocktail, closing dinner, all of those things. So it's going to be really cool.
you're already probably thinking about hiring people to Noted as well.
It's funny.
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet. We're still early days in that. So until we are absolutely, like, okay, we have all of this staked out. Great. Paige made a funny joke the other day. It's like, if somehow we could merge ourselves and create yeah, a Jenna Page baby in some way.
Yes, like
Who was born at maybe mid-30s, who's ready to go, then that would be amazing. Or even maybe a little bit younger so they could do a TikTok of some sorts, something like that.
yeah.
But not yet. But
Maybe a digital twin. I've heard that's a thing now. Maybe we should just create digital twins. Yeah, they'd have to have like 100% of Jenna's knowledge and skill set and mine knowledge and skill set pre-downloaded in their brain.
yeah.
And yeah, and the right energy, of course. But luckily, we're not there yet. We don't need to hire yet.
If we could do like Mickey 17 style. Have you seen Mickey 17 with Robert
No, only
Pattinson?
box bread, only, Jenna, from you. From the Swiss one.
He's like, he's like a little piece of bread floating through space, and he's in a little helmet, and then he just like kind of grumbles. And every time I'm in Europe, I find him somehow. And he is
I'm
so
Or
sorry,
he
you're gonna
finds
have to
he
you.
send
finds
that to
me.
me. That's amazing.
I will. He's hilarious. Okay, and now he's like returning to me because we will be in Europe next month, and I know
Yeah,
he's gonna be
couple
there
weeks.
waiting. But it's funny because Mickey 17, basically what happens is he's like an expendable, but he gets reprinted every time. If we could print someone, or like
Yeah.
yeah, Infinity Pool, but less, intense for that because that's a Cronenberg movie. But yes, so no, not yet. But eventually I feel like interns could be an exciting thing. We obviously really want to have like the next generation of F&F enthusiasts, lovers, experts come in, and if we could help in any way, kind of help grow their knowledge going forward, that would obviously be very exciting for us. Anyone who's interested in launching a woman-owned business is obviously something we're super passionate about. I feel like every day Paige is slowly converting people into being an entrepreneur just because they see how excited and happy she is. It's like I turn around and she's like, I think you should start your own business, and this is how you do it, and you should leave as soon. And they're like, okay, I think that's a great idea. So like watch out. She's going to be on some like motivational talk circuit sooner or later, just telling everyone you can be your own LLC. Why not?
You
So
can.
it's been really fun.
Just do it.
You mentioned trip to Europe. What
Mm.
are the places you're going to be visiting?
We've got three things upcoming. So first in Paris, we're going to hit up the FAO. That's EFEO, the European Federation of Essential Oils event. It's just like a little half-day thing in La Valois. And then after that, the next 2 days we'll be at the Simpar, and we'll be meeting with a lot of our clients there, a lot of F&F friends there, and perfumers. And then after that, 2 weeks later, I'll fly back for the Barcelona Perfumery Congress. Jenna's going to stay over in Europe because she has no motherly duties to attend to yet, like me. So I'll fly home and then fly back for the Barcelona Perfumery Congress after that. And we have a lot of friends joining us at the Barcelona Perfumery Congress to speak and to exhibit. And Jenna and I are sponsoring the networking area. So you'll see noted in the networking area there. So yeah, we're
Yes.
really looking forward to that.
Exciting.
Sounds like a dream job, dream company, dream everything. What is the most difficult?
Most difficult.
Is there a challenge, like a real one, or challenges?
Right now, there's not a challenge, but in the beginning, my brain was hurting every day because we were learning so much new things so fast. Like after you do a job for 20 years, like I had been doing, my brain was like, I know how to do this job in my sleep. Like your computer's the same, all the software you use is the same, everything's the same.
All you need to know about the flavor and fragrance industry.
And then we had to like build an LLC and like figure out how to do accounting and figure out how to do podcast software and this software and that software. And I had a new computer and everything was new. And my brain almost exploded daily, but it was also excited. It was like an exciting energy. I sleep really well at night because I'm exhausted at the end of the day. So exhausted. But now it's like leveling out. After like 6, 7 months, like I don't feel like that anymore. It's like, okay, I learned some new things. I'm still learning every day, but it's less physically painful. I don't know. How about you, Jenna?
I also am just like, by the time my head hits the pillow, it's like, oh my gosh, thankful. But yeah, it's the updating of routines for sure. Every day is incredibly different. I don't have to put together a newsletter or magazine anymore, which took a second for my brain to turn off. I go to events and I'm like, do I need to write a recap on this? Should I be doing this? So that's a change, I think, mentally. Switching from now sending the emails of press releases instead of just receiving them all was something that is very different. But I'm very thankful for the relationships that I had made with those PR agencies and the editors at other, magazines, publications beforehand, because I still get to have those now, which has been really great and also have been building over time. Yeah, switching into that PR capacity, I think, has been such a learning curve, but so fulfilling, because now I kind of get to do, we just get to make friends all the time and also connect people for them to make more friends. So that's been exciting. I think that also once you kind of drop off being known as the editor or someone who's associated with the magazine, now people are more willing to kind of talk to me in a more friendly, not friendly, but personal capacity, because they don't think that I'm going to write about it. So that's good. Yeah. And really just kind of learning what does the day look like? And also, Paige, we need a planning day. We've been loading ourselves up. Let's do a planning day to tackle the rest of the stuff. So that's been good. So really just troubleshooting. I think that's kind of the biggest thing, and making sure that your brain can take a second for yourself, because that's not really even something that entrepreneurs say, but it's should I just take a 5-minute walk? And that can be helpful. I don't know.
Yeah, turning it off is very hard when you own the company. Taking a minute to say, I'm going to go do a thing and I'm just going to turn everything off. It can be really hard.
Yeah. It sounds like motherhood.
I was just going to say,
Yeah.
you're my boys are outside for me
Yes.
to record this podcast. You're cycle, you're so consistent. You're so impressive. I also saw that you just launched a new kind of mentorship program that you can do that's free for people to do meetings. That's incredible. That's what's needed in this industry. You've been around, you know what's going on, you know who to talk to and the questions to ask. So people like you are so important. So obviously we're so thankful to be on the podcast, but you keep changing and being dynamic as time goes on, which is needed. So I feel like everything we're saying, you're just yes, exactly. I'm feeling that
Yeah.
too.
It's
So many
true.
things.
When you asked us to be on the podcast, I see all the amazing people you have on, and I'm like, she has room for us. That's amazing. So thank you for that. Because every time I see someone on your podcast, I'm like, oh, wow, that's so cool that she got them to be on the podcast.
Well, thank you. But what resonates with me right now is that actually both our podcasts, our activities are really into changing the industry for the better. I believe so.
Yeah.
It's so wonderful to be on board with you girls. I believe I will need also to rename the podcast from how I became a perfumer to how I became an employee at Noted. Just because now it sounds as inspiring to people and exciting, your job. I believe, yeah, it's the next big thing. But before that, that is quick questions.
She does a lightning round. I forgot to give you a heads up, Paige.
No. Okay.
I was hoping she'd forget.
I'm ready.
Mom's brain, yeah, I could forget many things, but the questions I have, they are written.
Okay, we're ready.
Okay, the first one's for Paige. If Noted has its own signature scent, what would it smell like?
Oh, wow. Well, our business cards are this barely there lavender color with a deep navy writing on them. So certainly there's going to be some lavender in there, but just a hint of lavender. And then, what could be the deep navy? My goodness. I'm gonna have to give that some thought, but something aquatic, I think, maybe the ocean, those deep oceany smells. I love aquatic fragrances, so hopefully Jenna does too. But yeah, maybe something cool water plus I don't know, some lavender on the top notes. Something like that.
All right. So Jenna, the next one is for you. If Noted Communications were an animal, which one would it be?
Oh my gosh, an animal. Jeez.
Spirit
Louise.
animal. What's Noted spirit animal?
Oh man. And I know that she's just waiting and I'm supposed to be lightning about it.
Oh, I know what it is, Jenna.
Oh, can I phone a friend? Okay, Paige.
Yeah, sure.
Remember when we were at the aquarium and we were talking about the narwhal?
Oh my God. Yeah, that's a good
I
one.
know.
You know the narwhal?
Yep.
Okay,
think it's
well,
the
first of
narwhal.
all, yes, because to me, okay, I didn't think, and this is so ridiculous, I didn't think it was real. I thought it was a mythical creature, but it is real. So,
Understandably so. And the
Right.
only reason I know that a narwhal is real is because my son learns about animals and stuff, and there's a lot of narwhal in children's things,
right.
but it's real.
So I think maybe just because it's, it's a rare thing. Noted is rare. Narwhal is rare. You're not going to find that everywhere around. So that's what my Google search has come up with. And it's extremely interesting. And the fact that it exists and is necessary, that's noted. So I feel like that's cool.
That's cool. Indeed. I mean, like, the most unpredictable answers ever. Okay, so Paige, returning to you. If noted communications were a song, which one would
Oh
it be?
God. Well, I already know this, but I don't think I can say it on air.
Yeah, let's pick a different song. You can pick a different song.
Well, so I'll bleep it.
Yeah.
So when we were developing our logo, the process for developing the Noted logo, our logo designer asked us if like there was a theme song for our company, what would it be?
Mm-hmm.
And we both agreed that we would want it to be
It's called Big Energy
Gosh,
by Lotto.
Big Energy, right? But
Is the censored
I don't know if you know
version.
this song. Yes,
I
Big
will listen
Energy.
afterwards.
So yeah, so we care very much about energy, and I think we both have big energy. When you look it up, you'll understand. But yeah, big energy is what I would say.
So, and Jenna, you probably could have guessed by this moment what will be the next question,
What is-
but probably
no.
not. If noted communications were a movie,
I knew it.
You knew it?
And that's so good for Jenna to have this question because I haven't seen a film since 2000.
Yeah.
okay, well, I was thinking since becoming a mom.
Well, that too.
Okay. All right. Hold on a second. Jeez Louise. Now I'm thinking of just like all the funniest movies ever. If it
Look,
were a
funniest.
movie.
It's a very good start.
Yeah, funny would be good. I'm thinking of kind of like either like a buddy cop situation or just like, or just, like a traveler duo type situation. My gosh. Oh my goodness.
It's so hard.
I know. And literally all I can, because I just watched She's the Man with Amanda Bynes, because right now it's on Paramount Plus. I don't know if you've seen that. It's like, she just is like who I grew up with as my comedic hero, just very silly like that. So obviously not that. Oh my God. I feel so bad. Literally every time I get on with you, and maybe it's because you have mesmerized me, Tanya, on this podcast, and I can no longer think. So I blame you.
Yeah, you know what? Most movies do have like
There's
it's like a problem.
big
And then it's like, it's okay.
climax,
We
and
don't
then-
have a problem.
No,
There's no
we're the
problem.
problem solvers. So I think that's what's difficult. But like I feel like
Maybe you could pick one of I like only watch Hallmark Christmas movies.
so Hot Frosty then.
Oh.
Just kidding. Hot Frosty that took over the scene. No, just kidding. Yeah.
Frosty.
Almost kind of like I feel like we're just that feel good, but also has a little bit of like comedy that's going to come through. We're going to be a great time. We're something that you could like have cocktails with and like just feel good after you're done
Definitely
watching and
not-
have a time.
Not PG rated though.
Not PG
Like,
rated.
Not PG.
Not even like extreme R, but that good PG-13 in between R,
Yeah.
good time,
Yeah,
a good dancing.
exactly. Like there's
type
going to be some
movie.
curse words. It's going to be a good time. Might have a drink.
Oh, good things.
I'm so happy that I had a chance to participate in this very lovely brainstorming about the movie. And so by now, we know that these girls can make a great change in your communication. So how could our listeners find you?
Yeah, so we're all over LinkedIn. If you haven't seen us on LinkedIn, you're not on LinkedIn. But www.noted.llc is our website. You can reach out to us, email hi@noted.llc. Yeah, or connect with us on LinkedIn, see us at our upcoming events, and all of those things.
Yeah. And if you're watching it on YouTube, now you know how they look, and just go to Simpar or IFIO or Barcelona Perfumery Congress and just meet.
Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. That's what we are.
Oh my gosh, I love this film, Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants.
Because listen,
love
you
this.
could,
This
you could
is
have either
totally-
of us. It fits. Friendship, travel.
Tanya, have you seen this film yet?
No, that's why I'm silent and feel very upset.
I think it was a book originally, but it's a great film. It's just, I'm not going to spoil it. Just watch it. It's so good. It's very feel good.
Okay. Or we will watch it together in autumn.
Party. Let's do it.
Watch party.
Viewing party for Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants.
That's PG-13.
Is
Yeah,
it?
I think so.
Probably.
Maybe.
It's been a minute since I watched it.
Thank you, girls, for joining me. So, like, I don't know, my jaw is really hurting because I've been smiling so long.
I do.
Always so much
It
fun.
was a hoot. Thank you. Thank you so much for having us. Can't wait to see you in person.
Likewise.
Amazing.
So, girls, I don't know, like, I forgot everything, but you're so lovely, you're so mesmerizing.